And we'll get into this article in a minute. I just want to go over a few things of his body of work. Well deserved. Well deserved. Johnson was born in Miami on July 11, 1981. He attended Miami Senior High School. He graduated in 1999. He played high school football and was rated as one of the top prospects in the country. As a senior, Johnson caught 32 passes for 931 yards and was named a Parade All-American. In his college career, he enrolled at the University of Miami, where he was a standout wide receiver on the Miami Hurricane football team from 2000 to 2003. He was a co-MVP of the 2002 Rose Bowl, in which the Hurricanes defeated the Nebraska Cornhuskers by a score of 37-14 to cap an undefeated season and their fifth national championship. In that game, Johnson connected with quarterback Ken Dorsey for 2 touchdowns, 199 yards. Johnson finished his college career catching 92 passes for 1,831 yards, 19.9 yard average, and 20 touchdowns. His 1,831 receiving yards is ranked 5th in the University of Miami's all-time career list. So, that's his body of work so far. Just an outstanding wide receiver. Now it lands him here in Houston. His body of work. Houston, Texas from 2003 to 2014. He also went to the Indianapolis Colts in 2015. Tennessee Titans in 2016. Unfortunately, with all athletes, even if you're great, get up later in your years, unfortunately, you end up moving around, going to another team. Even if you're great, you don't just stay with one team. If Jerry Rice can go bounce around to different teams, Andre Johnson can do the same thing. We want these players to stay with their franchise through their whole career. It rarely happens. Don't diminish what they've done over their career. It's just something that just happens. So let's get into this article. Johnson's combination of size, strength, and speed and fearlessness made him the rarest of receivers. Before the 2003 draft, a 6'2", 230-pound Johnson ran a 4.4 40-yard dash at the University of Miami's Pro Day. With a 41-inch vertical jump, it was just a preview of the 7-time Pro Bowler's career, which included 14,185 receiving yards and 70 receiving touchdowns. Played 12 of his 14 NFL seasons with the expansion Texans, who drafted him at number 3. Johnson led the league twice, both in receptions and receiving yards. He had 21 games in his career with at least 10 receptions and at least 100 yards receiving. The most all-time in his 8th career games with at least 10 receptions, 150 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown are also a league record. Johnson and Hall of Famer Jerry Rice are also the only players to have multiple 1,400-yard seasons after age 30. Just marvelous. And anytime you can be mentioned with Jerry Rice in anything, mean your career has went in the right path. I think the only fault from Andre Johnson is being born too early. That's the only fault. Because like I said, him going to the Houston Texans, expansion team trying to find their way, trying to build something in Houston, and he just fell victim to that. Not being able to come away with the Super Bowl. I think if he was with the Texans right now at this time, he will come away with some hardware. I think this team the Houston Texans have now, I think it's the best team right now that they're going to put on the field this upcoming season. I think it's the best team the Texans have had. If you want to merge it with the Houston Oilers, you can do that as well. But the best team that they're going to have since they've been born is coming into next season with all the players that they have, all the talent that they have. It's well documented. A lot of expectations coming into this season with this football team. So yeah, if Andre Johnson happened to be on this roster and his young tenure with his talents, oh man, oh yeah, he will be getting some hardware. No doubt about it. Because the Texans about 1 or 3 years off. They can easily win it this season. Just depends. We already went over the factors. Just depends. But they have a chance just like anybody else. So Andre Johnson, we're here to give you flowers. Congratulations. Glad about your body of work, especially in Houston. Well respected. Hell of a guy. Never had no off the field issues. Great in the community. Everybody has great things to say about him. So it was a joy and it was a delight to have him as a wide receiver for the Houston Texans. No doubt about it. Now, is he the best wide receiver the Texans ever had? Let's merge it with the Oilers even. Is Andre Johnson the best and the greatest wide receiver that Houston football team has ever had in the NFL? Is he the best? I don't know if I should give my answer. I want to see what y'all think about it. Y'all think he was the best? I'm going to say this. Yes, I think he's the best because of the body of work. I will say this about D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins. I think he had an opportunity to be the greatest wide receiver Houston has had. If he would have stayed in Houston and he didn't get railroaded by Bill O'Brien, I think he had an absolute great chance of being the best and the greatest wide receiver the Texans ever had. Now, he did have some injuries come along in his career. That's the only thing I think would have derailed him. Only thing I think would have derailed him. But I believe if he wasn't railroaded by Bill O'Brien and he finished his career, at least most of his career in Houston, despite the injuries, he would have had a hell of a chance putting up a great body of work in his career. So even saying all of that, Andre Johnson still tops him. And even back with the Oilers, you know, I love to love you blue. I love me some Ernest Givens, Haywood Jeffries. Now, for his excitement, nobody's more exciting than Ernest Givens, right? The electric slide, the whole nine.
But they still seemingly had the game won until Elway pulled off more heroics, just as he did against the Oilers last January in a playoff game. Warren Moon looks for it all. He's got an open Ernest Givens. He's in. Touchdown. The electric slide. Sanctified.
Oh, yeah. I love that time to run and shoot. But even saying all of that, they never eclipsed the great Andre Johnson. Maybe more exciting, but body of work, being there on time, always available, making big catch after big catch. And on top of all of that, a Florida guy calling H-Town his home. Gotta love that.